Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to just cruise around the shop a little bit and show you what I got going on, the latest and greatest. A week ago we had low 20s in the morning and snow, and today it's 80 degrees only in Arizona. So let me turn this camera around and show you what's happening. Well, my regular viewers will probably remember this guy. A few videos back, Nancy and I had made some estate sale scores, and this workstation table was one of them. And then I proceeded to mount 3 of my tools on there: combination belt disc sander, grinder, and polisher. And I'd mentioned eventually I was going to get an outlet installed on there and then get a switch hooked up for that little buffer, because that was just direct wired to the plug and I wanted a switch on there. So as you can see, that is all done, and it all works very well. I set this grinder up on this side for doing some drill bit sharpening. Originally, oh gosh, long time ago, when I restored that big giant Craftsman grinder over there, I said I was going to, well, I'll just walk over there and show you. I was going to set that up for sharpening drill bits and other things. Well, what I discovered was these big cast iron tool rests are really clunky, and you really can't get them slid and adjusted properly for that kind of stuff. So I'm going to use that for general purpose grinding. I may even wind up selling it. And the reason why I say that is, oops, sorry, finger in the lens. I've got my dad's old Craftsman that he bought new back in the 60s, and it's an excellent grinder still. It doesn't take as big of stones as that one does, but this one has so much sentimental value I just can't part with it. That one is the better grinder than this one, but hey, sometimes you just got to go with the sappy sentimental, and that's what I'm going to do. Well, anyway, I set up my cheesy little drill bit sharpening jig on this one, and I'll use the side of the stone for sharpening. But everything powers up just great. I just have a pigtail cord on there. I can plug that in with an extension cord. And then when I'm done with it, I just wheel it into the corner. One last thing I'm going to do to this. Not too long ago, I was over on Pappy's Corner channel, and Pappy was doing a very similar thing with a workstation table, and he built a base for his with casters on the 4 corners, that's spanned all the way around. And it worked really slick, and just wheeling in the corner. What I've discovered about these side casters here is they're really clunky. And when you tip this table over enough to engage those casters, you're actually over the center of gravity. It gets pretty top heavy, and I can just picture myself dumping this thing on the floor. So I'm going to do what Pappy did. I'm going to steal his idea and put a base on there. But what's the real purpose of this video? Let me show you. Sorry about the shadows. This is an old Northern Tool cherry picker for pickup trucks. And normally the stuff you see nowadays, the base of the cherry picker has a big mounting plate to bolt in the corner of the back of your pickup truck. And you just swing the cherry picker out and grab what you're gonna grab and swing the load over the tailgate and into the truck. Well, this Rube Goldberg thing is designed to fit in the hitch receiver of the truck. And then you've got these bolts here that clamp that to the sliding tube of the base of the cherry picker, and you can adjust that, slide it in or out depending on your load, and it's got downriggers and all that. At first glance, hey, that's pretty cool. Well, it's clunky and cumbersome, and you got to pack all this in the back of the truck, which takes up a lot of space. And then when you need it, you got to wrestle this thing into the hitch receiver, which is no small feat, especially an older guy like me who doesn't have the lifting capacity I used to have. Wrestle all that in there, and then another problem is you reduce your lifting height by at least a foot, because this is down into the hitch receiver instead of up into the back of the truck. But I thought, it's still a viable cherry picker. And so my plan is, I've got a hitch receiver tube there. I'm going to mount it on the back of the trailer. And if my idea works, I'll grab another one of those for the opposite corner up front. And then I will have this thing permanently mounted to the trailer. And then I don't have to dink around with taking that thing out and moving it around and wrestling it into a hitch receiver. I'll just leave it permanently installed. The deck of the trailer is low, so that's nice, and I can swing any load I want onto the deck of the trailer. In the past, you know, I've wrestled heavy loads up the ramps with a big hand truck. That's getting problematic. My knees and back don't like that anymore, so I figured, well, hey, if I can just cherry pick the load on, that's the way to go. So that's what I'm gonna do, or at least try. Oh yeah, I got my Badland winch installed on the trailer. I'm embarrassed to tell you how long that winch has been sitting on the shelf. But I will tell you, you can guess by the price. I bought that on sale for 179 bucks, so that'll tell you about how long ago I bought it. Way too much winch for this trailer, but at the time I bought it, it was on sale, and it was less money than the 9,000 and 5,000 pound winches. So I thought, well, hey, I'm gonna get the big winch. So I didn't film any of the mounting this on the trailer. I just cut a couple of pieces of channel iron, welded them to the deck, drilled a couple holes in each one, and just bolted this thing down. All I have left to do is get a battery. I'm just gonna build a tubular mount inside the box. I'm not gonna film any of that. I mean, this was not riveting content. 2 pieces of channel, weld it down, bolt the thing down. Same type of thing, couple pieces of tubing, 5 minutes to weld it in, and then set the battery on it, and I'm done. All I gotta do is drill a couple of holes in the box, put grommets in them to run the positive and negative cables in and out, and that'll finish the winch ensemble. But like I said, it's way too much winch for this trailer. This trailer was built back in 1974 to haul a race car and a stripped down light duty race car. Now the axles under it are rated at 3,500 pounds each, and you subtract the weight of the trailer, which is about 1,400 pounds, and so you're down to about, you know, 5,500 pound capacity max. All the box tubing this trailer is made out of is not heavy wall, it's sheet metal, like 062, 16th inch. So it's not a heavy duty trailer. Heaviest thing I've had on here is a Ford 8N, and that's about the max for this thing. So yeah, but it's still a good trailer. It does what I want it to do. Oh, and while we're at it, remember that hubcap fiasco a few videos back, the epic fail? Well, I got on eBay and started searching around. I could not find dog dish hubcaps in a GM or a Dodge brand, because that's what these wheels are. George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, if you were watching, you were correct, and I should have known it because it had Cadillac hubcaps on it originally. I should have known it was GM or Chrysler wheels on this thing. But anyway, I digress. I couldn't find dog dishes. So, but there was a vendor on eBay that had these vintage Dodge hubcaps. And I'm a Dodge man. I always have been for over 50 years. My dad before me. He had these beautiful full-face Dodge hubcaps, 50s vintage, in beautiful shape. Had 4 of them for a price I couldn't pass up. So I bought them. And they are on the trailer. And I'm happy. The trailer's happy. This trailer really needs a paint job. It looks hideous. All right, I've been yapping long enough. Let's do something here. Well, at first glance, I think we have a winner. Climb under here. Everything looks good. I can weld this thing. Of course, welding issue, this is 1/4 inch thick, and then the sheet metal frame is only a 1/16 inch thick. Sorry, not very well in focus here. But my real problem here, wiring, right above that. So I'm going to pull those taillight lenses out and see what's up with that wiring and see if I can get something in there to hold it up away from the heat from welding. And then, yeah, we'll give that a shot. Well, I misspoke. That box tubing is, it's 1/8 of an inch thick, not 1/16. Oops, my bad. I think I will be able, there's enough flex in that wiring in there. I think I'll be able to tie that up enough with a couple of tie wraps, get it away from the heat. I will avoid, if I can get the light out of the way, I will avoid that conduit area where the wire is coming through. But yeah, same thing over here. That's up out of the way. I'll tie that up with some tie wraps, and I'm gonna get the wire wheel out and the grinder and clean up paint and rust and all that. And I'm not gonna film that. You guys can see me clean paint and rust enough times. Then I'll tack that on there with the MIG welder, and then I'll probably switch to the stick welder since this guy here is so much thicker than the box tubing on the frame. I keep that note taped over the on-off switch on my welder as a reminder to do a flammable safety check in the shop before I strike an arc. Well, don't look too close at my Gorilla Glob welds, but it's stuck on there good. I'm going to touch up a couple of spots with a grinder and then slap some paint on it, put the taillight lenses back in, and then start mounting up the cherry picker. Oh, that was full of crap. In line with the fender. And that's going to stick out about 1 foot beyond the back bumper of the trailer, which isn't bad. These holes line up here too. I could actually put another pin in there, which I might do, but I'll cinch up those cinch bolts on the side It's not going to interfere with my stabilization jack if I'm loading something heavy on the ramps. So I guess it's time to get that in there. One thing I didn't take into account was the fact that this apparatus was designed to be much higher into the receiver on the truck. So consequently, since this is lower, now my length on my top link for the stabilizing arm is too long on both of them. So what I'm going to have to do is cut those off and drill a new hole so it will work in this this arrangement. However, it won't work if I opt to use it in the receiver hitch receiver on the truck. I don't think I'm ever going to do that because I've done it twice with this thing, and wrestling that thing in and out of that hitch receiver on the truck is a real pain. So I think I'm just going to leave it just like this. Well, there you have it. The outriggers are on. And I've still got to rig up a tie down. So I think I'm gonna, when I travel, I'll have it in that position. So I got to rig up something to attach here, go down here somewhere, and lock that in place so it won't rotate. But that's a minor deal that I'll do off camera. So I'm happy with it. When we're underway, the outside of the cherry picker is going to align with the outside of the fenders and the tires. So I'm happy about that. I'll be legal as far as width. And instead of wrestling things up ramps, I'll just hook on with that, lift it up, swing it over onto the deck. Yeah, that's going to work. So I'm going to end this video with a tech tip on how I clean my shop floor super fast after a dusty, dirty, grimy job like this. Done! Cold snack time.